Hi, everyone. We're going live today because I didn't have time to edit, so we're just going to do it this way. So what I wanted to talk today about is collar touches or collar guards. I had mentioned them yesterday in the video on recall work when we had the long line and I was calling Captain back, and I'll reference it up here when this is done recording. I'll put it all up here. But I use the term collar grab, and we often also use the word collar touch. I think it's a little more gentle, a little more indicative of what I like my students to do is to touch the collar and get the dog acclimated to hands on a dog's collar, but in a very delicate way. So it's not like grabbing the collar and pulling the dog. We don't want that at all. But what we do want is that a dog should be, generally speaking, comfortable with people touching their collar. Let's say your dog gets off leash and somebody's going to just grab and get that collar and try to help you out. And that surprise, whoop, we don't want our dogs to be startled and respond in a way that puts people in danger or puts a dog in danger. But it's also, I like to use it in recall, come when called. Dog, come. When I say come, it always means I touch your collar. That is the final behavior that they're getting marked for. So instead of this tangible or intangible, come here-ish, where they stop 3 feet away and then they duck and run away when you reach for them, or the come back as they're running away from you, or the dog come and they give you the middle finger. I don't want either of those, any of those. I would prefer when I say dog come, that Captain or any dog comes to me and I can get their collar. In this way, if I need to put a leash on, I can. And if I don't need to, it's good practice for me to touch their collar. Can every dog accept a collar touch? No, and that's okay. We'll often use harnesses, and I'll show a technique with Captain here, how I can kind of sneak behind if I needed to in an emergency, but we can still practice recall to our front or come when called across our front in that, what do you call it? The primary reinforcement zone, that invisible hula hoop that I often talk about in classes. And I'll put something up here too about the primary reinforcement zone in our front area. So that way when our dog is there, I can sneak with my other hand and get them in case of an emergency. But in practice, we don't want to put a dog over a stress threshold where they are going to become so fearful that they can't come into our space. We want them totally comfortable coming into our space. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So when I say come, I am going to be teaching our dog to come to my hand. It might look like touch. If I'm just starting to teach dog, you come here and I'm going to reach under and grab a collar and with my other hand produce a treat. Or with Captain, I'd go come and I present a whole open hand, because when he sees that, he knows his collar is going to get touched and he's going to get some cookies. Now, the thing to keep in mind, when I am working with a dog, I am wearing my clock earrings right now as a reminder that we are going to touch them between 4 and 8 o'clock on their neck. We are not going to reach over their head, which makes them duck and often back away and start a game of chase. We don't want that. We want come to me and come here. And the easiest way to do that is to grab them here. So if you're a person who's ever been sitting on a bus or a subway and somebody gets uncomfortably close and reaches over your head, it can be very uncomfortable. And I'm going to demonstrate reaching even over Captain's head. He tolerates me coming over his head to pat him, but I want you to look for lip flicks, squinting or blinking, aversion where his head is turning away. I want you to look for those 3 signs, because you're going to see them when I reach over his head. And this is a dog that loves me and tolerates my stupid human behaviors. But some dogs, that'll be way more pronounced. So you're going to be looking for those quick lip flicks. Those are indications of stress. And so I'm watching him very carefully while I do this. So what I'm going to do, here we go. Oh, buddy. Here. So I'm going to first show reaching. Oops. Thank you, buddy. I'm going to first reach over his head, and you see how he kind of ducks back. You see how he's blinking. He really doesn't love it. I'm going to move him a little closer. Come here, Cap. Down. Oh, leave the kitty alone. Down. Good boy. Ready? I'm going to reach over your head. Down. Wait. Yeah, you can see the little lip flicks. He really doesn't love it. So instead of reaching over his head, there's another one. Instead of reaching over his head, I'm going to instead try to reach here. Yes, and treat. Yes, and treat. And I'm not going to have a lot of time doing this because I do have a class in a couple minutes, but I wanted to make sure we got this done. Yes, and treat. Yes, and treat. And this is something you can do with your puppy today. Yes, and treat. Now, if I wanted to start adding distance, which I do, And we've done a lot of go find. So again, look up here. We'll do some go find work. Send him away. Touch. When he touches me and comes to my other hand for cookies, that's when I sneak down and get that collar. I'm not grabbing and pulling my dog. I'm not putting any tension. I'm just, here I am. I just want him to know I'm here. Okay? Come. Easy, kitty cat. Come. Yes. See how he's kind of putting his whole head into my hand. That's ideally what I want. Come. Yes. Good job. He knows he's offering me his neck. He's like, please take my collar so I can get some breakfast. So the emergency is if your dog doesn't like this, I'm going to send him across my front, almost like he's parallel parking. My feet are the curb. He's the SUV. And here, I'm a little close. Let me back up here. If he's across my primary reinforcement zone here, I can come this way and get his collar without him seeing my hand. So in an emergency, I can get him that way. And so if you have a dog that's skittish and doesn't like reaching over the head like that, even there, he just kind of ducks. Sit. I can. Oh, you nerd. Wait, I did not tell you. Ready? Come. I can practice having him come across my body. If I can't get the collar grab that way, come. Yes, and I can start to teach him come means to touch my foot. Come. Come. Yes, good boy. And I don't have a lot of room, so maybe I can send him out this way. I'm in a bedroom, guys. Oop, hold on. Oh, try again. Back. Wait. I'll go a little diagonal here. Captain, come. Yes. So in a pinch, if he's here, I can reach down with my left hand. He's going from left to right. I can reach in behind. This is easier to do. This is much easier to do if he has a harness on compared to a collar. But in an emergency, you might not have the right gear. So it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just practice and meet your dog where they're at. There's a woman who does this great program called Recallers. So if recall is a problem that you're having, search for Recallers. And I think it's a 30-day program. I've had lots of students take it. It's expensive, but it's so worth it. And it's so good. And she really just changes fundamentally the way that you think of come when called. It makes everything a game. And these are just some remedial tips to kind of help basic people get used to getting their dog to come when called. But if you're really struggling, reach out and considerationsbook@gmail.com. I'll look for it for you and I'll send you information. I'll try to put her stuff up here too, the recaller stuff if I can find it. But work really hard. Keep working with that long line that we talked about yesterday. And good luck. I'll see you guys on Friday with something. If you have any ideas, put them down here in the comments. And I'll go ahead and I'll see what I can pull up for you guys for Friday. If you guys want to have fun and you guys want to do a party trick, we can do that. If you guys want to keep working on recall skills and keep it a theme for the weekend, we can do it that way too. Whatever you guys like. I'm here and I'm really not going anywhere because we're still stuck at home. All right, be safe. Bye.